My name's Stephen.
Nice to meet you.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Baghdad in Iraq.
Oh, Baghdad, Iraq. Okay. When did you come to Canada?
I've been here since 2011
2011.
Yeah.
Did you come as
as a student.
Student visa?
Yeah.
Or-
After 4 years of bachelor's degree, I became a refugee, and now I'm a permanent resident.
Oh, from Iraq.
Yeah. So first I was a student for 4 years. Then when I graduated, I became a refugee because it was tough to go back to Iraq. That's not a choice. And at the time, the economy wasn't doing really well. I was supposed to be an engineer. So in 2015, 2016, the economy went down. So I became a refugee, and just last year I became a resident in Canada.
So you can become a refugee from within Canada?
From within, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
interesting.
As long as you can prove that going back is dangerous.
So what was the danger in Iraq for you?
So we left in 2006. 2006 was very rough. There was a lot of kidnapping, killing, bombings, and then they started targeting people like specifically. So doctors, engineers, basically educated people. So my parents are doctors, and we basically got threatened, and it was a matter of life or death. So we had to get out of there.
Do you think was it religious motivated? Because I know there was a division between Sunni and Shia.
There was, but it was no longer. You don't know who's coming for you anymore. You don't know why you might be picked. Maybe you worked for the government, and then somebody sees that as a bad thing. Maybe you worked with the Americans when they first came, and you helped them, I don't know, reorganize the government.
Yes.
Maybe that's somebody has a problem with that. Maybe because you're called something. Some people literally got shot at police checks. Like you get it's a check stop, and that's it. Just based on your name, they don't know anything else about you.
Are these extremists? Obviously, right?
Obviously, but
Yeah,
we
obviously.
don't really know who it is anymore. At that time, we didn't know who it is. I don't know what's the situation now, but the family had to get out of there. My extended family is pretty much out of there, so there's really very little to go back to.
And yet, it had nothing to do with religion, you don't think, or did?
See, I'm sure some people had a problem with that because all of a sudden, friends that I've known forever, and I've known that they are from a certain whatever, that was always a positive thing. It's like you're learning something new. So if somebody is from a different religion, or even within the same religion, there's some differences, it's still something nice. Like I still remember my grandparents' neighbors were Christian. I loved going there for Christmas and Easter eggs and all of that. Like it was something to celebrate. All of a sudden after the war, it became something to fight about. And that was it. It's like all of a sudden the people are not trying to be together. Everybody's trying to divide. And once that's the case, it gets violent. It gets ugly.
What about your parents? Are they in Canada too?
No, they found a job in UAE, where Abu Dhabi, Dubai is. That's where they work. We've been trying to bring them over here. Visa issues and travel issues is the problem.
Yeah.
I have a sister in Calgary, and I have 2 siblings in the States. So we're trying from different sides, and hopefully it will work. But with the recent changes in presidency and the government and stuff like that, we're hoping that things don't get more difficult.
Right. And how were you treated as a refugee? Like, did you get benefits?
In the beginning, yes, there was health benefits, but to be honest, we wanted to show Canada that I'm not here because I want money from you or because I want you to take care of me. It's because I have no option. So I didn't ask for money. I didn't ask for help, monetary or. Yeah. And the health, once you get like a federal health plan, but once you get Alberta Health, you get Alberta Health. That's it. You lose the other. So yeah.
What do you? How do you feel about multiculturalism in Canada?
It's wonderful.
Why? Why?
No, I mean it's there's such a diverse community and like such a wide variety of people that you don't feel like I don't belong here or this is somebody else's place. When I've lived in other places where that's pretty clear to you, is that you're not. Maybe you're welcome, but you're always a second-class citizen or something.
Like what other countries are you referring to?
I've been to UAE a few times, and that.
Which one?
UAE, so United Arab Emirates.
Yeah.
And you're. It's very clear to you that there is our people, and then everybody else comes after that. and you're not, as long as you have a job or studying or something like that, then you're welcome. But once that's done, you're no longer welcome. You cannot become a resident or a citizen of that country. So people have spent 20, 30, 40 years of their lives, and once something happens or they lose their job, they have to leave right away.
It's like that in Saudi Arabia, right?
I think
it's
so
a good
too.
example.
Yeah, so it's not something you can call home. But Canada's doing a very good job at that.
So what about integration? Do you believe there's a distinct culture in Canada, or is it just a mix of cultures now?
Could you repeat the question?
Do you think there's a distinct culture to Canada, or just a mix?
No, I think it's a mix.
There is no distinct culture.
Yeah, I mean, everybody thinks Canadians say sorry all the time.
Yeah.
Everybody's nice.
Right.
But, I mean, this is just the Arab festival. You go around Calgary, you see all kinds of faces. There's no, distinct or like specific Canadian, I don't know, face or culture. I mean, there's still definitely some elements from before most of us immigrated, but it's not in a way that's forced. It's not in a way that's like this is it. No, it's like everybody clearly made a difference in here. Everybody managed to contribute, and everybody's adding. I mean, there's like very clear differences when you go just from within Calgary. You go, northeast or northwest or whatever, and you see the different, like the shops and all of that.
Yeah,
so
the enclaves. You call them enclaves. Right?
Yeah. So like.
Do you think that's a good thing, enclaves, or is it dividing the country?
Because it's how people use it.
Yeah, because some people say ethnicity is the glue of a society, but if it's all different ethnic groups, what's the glue that's going to hold the country together?
I mean, it's.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know, but it's much simpler to see that this is another human being than another race.
So it's more from a global standpoint?
Yeah, like I believe we need to identify as a bigger thing. So we either identify nationally and we say we're all Canadians, or we identify as human beings and I'll treat
which
you
is
as
more like a global citizen?
Yeah, because the rest of it is just the way you're brought up, what your family was doing, the culture, the geography. It's not really like, it's not your true nature, it's not your DNA, it's not determined by anything other than your surroundings. So, I'm sure some people will see it in a negative way, but
but this is an open dialogue.
Yeah.
There's different points of view, so they can view it however they want.
Yeah.
But it's about you and what you
I think it's a great possibility. Once you have such a diverse community and such a great amount of people and the geography they come from and the culture they come from, it gives a possibility to do something great. It also gives the possibility to fight and say, you know what, there's too many people and we're from all over the place, and how are we gonna glue it together? But we're already here.
Yeah, fair enough, sir. Like, would you support like a global citizen over a Canadian citizen?
I think that eventually would have to happen. So I think the EU did a good job at becoming the EU.
Yeah.
Especially after World War II. Whoever thought Germany and France and all of these countries would stick together and have all these agreements and call themselves as one. And I think that's a step forward. Because, as we've demonstrated in my country, the more you divide, the worse it gets. It needs to be a more inclusive. Even as a human being, once you try to restrict things, you get suffocated. It's not even up to you. Even if you think you're protecting yourself and you have all of these barriers, you just shrivel and die. So it has to be a more inclusive approach. So I think eventually, if the world becomes intelligent enough or forgiving enough or accommodating enough that, the borders we came up with and we keep changing them and it's up to us, then the idea of a global citizen would be. Because then, would you even need to say that there's a global citizen? No, this is our planet, this is the land, and you choose to live where you want and do what you want, and there shouldn't be a clear difference between, just coming to Canada, going to the States for me, like it's a problem because I'm Iraqi. Even now, I'm a permanent resident. Every time I go through the airport, there's some sensitivity about the fact that where I came from. So hopefully we'll get there.
What about? Do you feel bad for traditional Canadians who built and created this country? Do you feel they have rights, or?
Absolutely, everybody has rights.
No, but they're being displaced, you could argue, right?
Well, that shouldn't be the case.
But they are, right? Culturally, right?
Yeah, but that's also like, it's not something that's being done on purpose. That's not something that's
it's all planned immigration, so you could argue it's on purpose, right?
But then, okay, we could argue about a couple of things.
Yeah, okay.
If the government decides that they want to get this many immigrants, then it's
But that's organized, that's planned, isn't it?
Yeah, but not...
So it is happening deliberately.
Yes,
right?
But deliberately, if you see it as in, we want to get this many people. The way I see it is these people have no other option, and Canada chose to stand up and say, you know what, we're going to take care of you guys. It should have happened a bit more in an organized way, a little less. Like I know when I applied for refugee, they were just accepting pretty much everybody,
right.
Syrians and Iraqis,
and that was under Harper, wasn't it?
That was
Harper,
actually,
2011,
no,
wasn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, when I became refugee, I was 2016. So that was.
Okay. Okay.
But I think the Minister of Immigration, whatever, was Syrian, so he made things very easy. So, I mean, it needs to be more controlled. I don't think it should be like some European countries where like they're just, no, we don't want this. I think, again, Canada has been great at doing that, where like we're not fighting with anybody, we're accommodating people. We understand that Canada is just a whole mix of people, but again, it could have been handled a bit differently, and in a way where you make sure that the existing people don't feel like they are being displaced or they are being treated unfairly.
But why beat around the bush? Because they are being displaced, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
right?
So if the government decides to...
So they could be more deceptive about it, but it's still the end result, right?
I know, but I mean, if the government decides to get a certain amount of immigrants, I think there should be a more broad plan where, like, if we're doing this, we need to make sure that the people here are also not protected, but like we make sure that this is going in a way that works. We're not going to have... Because if you get somebody from outside, you get an immigrant, you get a refugee, you get a whatever, and the citizen feels like he's losing his place or his home, his culture, then that's very threatening, and of course that gets people very uncomfortable.
Yeah, but at least it's up front, right?
Yeah.
Because deceive could end up worse.
Yeah.
Do you think it's fair to call Canada a globalist village, or at least leading to that?
A globalist village. It's an interesting name,
right?
I think it could work. I mean, again, it's up to us.
But you said there's no distinct culture, right? It's just a mix of cultures, right?
Yeah, because I mean.
So you see globalist village, right? How that fits in?
Yeah, it definitely feels like that. At least here. I don't know if there's certain places where there's too much of a concentration of one race or another or a culture.
Sure.
But being here, it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like somebody's taking over or somebody's overruling the others. So.
But there are emerging enclaves, you know that, right? Like the one most notable is Brampton. You know that, right?
I'm not sure.
It's almost 80% Indian. Culture.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's a fact, No, that's non-judgmental, but that is a fact. So you go there.
Yeah.
You feel like you're in India.
Yeah.
They call it a mini Punjab.
Yeah. And
do you think that's good for Canada?
I don't understand the point of moving to another country and still living in your own circle. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
But in a way, we can say that, if these people need the security and they are very strongly attached to their culture, then I guess it's a good thing that they can even do this, that they have a place where they can do this. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Vancouver, you go to BC in general, and in Vancouver, there's a lot of, like, Asian people or Chinese people or whatever. So is that a bad thing? Well, in some ways, it's like the real estate is getting messed up, and people are buying houses and all of that.
Another thing, the traditional population, including First Nation, are being driven out.
Yeah.
They're being completely displaced.
Yeah. So again, I go back to, I think Canada
and that was their home.
Yeah.
They're like refugees in Canada now.
Yeah.
They're fleeing.
Yeah.
There's something not right about that, isn't there?
No, and the whole Aboriginal thing is pretty difficult here.
Yeah.
I hear about a lot of addiction problems and just a lot of things are going through. Again, I go back to the fact that Canada should have been so hasty in accepting everybody or jumping towards it. So like right now, Trump tells us to put the CFO, Huawei CFO, under arrest. We do that, and now we're in trouble because our own citizens and China are under, they're being accused of spying and all these things, and they could. That's the death row. That's the death penalty in Canada and China. So, it's a great thing that Canada, always chooses to help, but I think it just needs to be a bit more strategized, or just a bit more organized, because you end up in such situations.
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you, sir, for sharing that.
Thank you.
It's great dialogue. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you, sir.